What is up, guys? Private Eye Russ here, and welcome to the Private Eye Russ podcast. Okay, so today, before we get started, I am Private Eye Russ. I do own a private investigative and security consulting company. We do everything from infidelity cases to homicides. We've helped police partners, but also too from the negligent security or personal injury standpoint. We're closing on 100 homicides, unfortunately, in the state of Florida, as well as corporate theft, corporate espionage, state cases as well too. So, if you need a private investigator, link up with me. Send me a DM at on Twitter or on X, I guess you could call it, at Private Eye Russ, or you can email me at russ@privateeruss.com. Alternatively, because sometimes some emails don't go through my business email, you can try my Gmail account, which is privateinvestigatorruss@gmail.com. That's privateinvestigatorruss@gmail.com. Let's get straight into this. This is a song, believe it or not, Leonard Nimoy playing Spock, one of my all-time favorite shows. Yes, I am a Trekkie, but I'm also a Star Wars nerd. So sorry for that. For those of you who might be conflicted or think I should be conflicted, I am not. I love both series. I think they were both awesome. The originals, the later stuff, some of it was just cringe, to be honest with you, and should never have happened, but whatever. So this song, Spock is singing, and fair use. I am going to be interrupting from time to time. I have to do that. That's just how things work to make sure you don't get a copyright thing. But it's a brief song. It's only about a 2-minute video, so this will be a short video. Anyway, let's get into this. Let's get into it.
What would be better than a serenade from the laughing spaceman?
Shout out to Uhura and the nurse, whatever her name was. Well, she wasn't a nurse. No, yeah, she was a nurse. The yeoman was the really hot one. Anyway, well, sorry, fair use.
Take care, young ladies, and value your wine.
Okay, take care, young ladies, and value your wine. I think we know what that is a metaphor. That metaphor, alludes to. So it means women value your virtue. That's what this is saying. Not me. Don't judge me. Don't get angry at me. But I think this is a good message for some young women nowadays. Not all, but some.
Be watchful of young men in their velvet prime.
Once again, fair use. Be watchful of young men in their velvet prime. That's Chad, Tyrone, Raj, Chan, Guillermo, whatever their name might be. You guys know exactly who I'm talking about. The dudes that talk you ladies out of your drawers. And watch.
Deeply they'll swallow from your finest kegs.
Deeply they'll swallow from your finest kegs. I don't think I need to say anything about that. You guys know exactly what that means. Anyway, so let's go.
Then swiftly be gone, leaving bitter dregs.
Bitter dregs. So they're going to drink deeply, they'll swallow from your finest keg. So they're going to take the best that you have to offer, and they're going to bounce. And you're going to get all angry, but at the end of the day, you should have resisted their attempts in the first place. So anyway.
Bitter dregs. With smiling words and tender touch.
Smiling words and tender touch. Obviously, they were coached by one of these pickup artist guys. The PUA game is strong in some of these dudes, and I know guys like that. Everybody thinks you got to be 6 foot tall, 6-figure income. I know a broke dude who's about 5'8", who lives in a trailer, who gets women like it's his job. Short, balding, freckle face. I would say by most people's standards, not particularly good looking. Red-headed dude, but he cleans up. Anyway.
Man offers little and asks for so much. He loves in the breathless excitement of night.
So it's alluding to the fact that women will give these guys who, get them all hot and bothered. They'll give them anything and everything, and they won't ask for anything back in return. While the guys that they're not really so hot on, you're gonna have to jump through a whole bunch of hoops to get to the same spot, and you're not actually gonna get the same type of commitment, if you know what I'm talking about.
Then leaves with your treasure in cold morning light.
Yo, look at Uhura. Hold on. Let's go back here, man. Uhura looked like she was recounting a memory. Hold on, man. She look at it.
In cold morning light.
Might have to look into Uhura's past and see what she's been up to, because it looked like she was reliving some trauma. Tyrone, fair use.
In cold morning
Anyway, so that's a message to women. Take it or leave it. But that was a song, one of my favorites, from a series that I loved. I've seen every episode probably 8 or 9 times each. Shout out to Star Trek. But the message here is clear. If you're a young woman, be more cautious about what you put yourself out there with. People talk about go live your life. They're alluding to or encouraging women to be free with their private lady parts. If you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. The problem with that is every time you do that, you release a piece of yourself that you can't get back. And I think that's where a lot of women get somewhat angry and bitter later on. They'll be angry at the guys. They'll be angry at guys in general, but ultimately, you only have yourself to blame. And the women people that are encouraging women to live this way, you hear these statements about how a woman's past should not matter. Well, I'm here to tell you a woman's past does matter to smart and discerning and men of some value. And I mean value not just monetarily, but men who actually have integrity and who value their own name. A man is not going to attach his name, a smart man is not going to attach his name to a woman who has given herself to everyone. Some of the cases I work on are not just infidelity cases. Some of them are guys wanting to vet women that you're dealing with. There are ways to test women. One of the tests I wrote on X was I visited a young woman at her home. She invited me there, and her bathroom was absolutely just disgusting. I actually put in my post on X. I couldn't tell if it was a really dirty white porcelain toilet bowl or a faded brown porcelain toilet bowl. Either way, it was disgusting. Cat litter box looked like it hadn't been changed in months. And invariably, I don't understand what it is about young women. This woman was 23 years old. They don't change the batteries on, yep, you guys can say it with me, smoke detectors. She had 2 smoke detectors, both of them chirping, not in unison, just beep. Every now and then that one would go, then the one upstairs, beep, would go also. Just like okay. I changed them before I left. And she gave me the, we were talking, and, we had something to eat. I ordered Uber Eats for us, because she didn't know how to cook. Okay. And so, she told me that I didn't have to wear equipment. Guys, this is not just a red flag. This is a stop sign. If a woman is telling you that you do not have to wear your equipment, she has given that speech to dozens of men probably many, many times before. You're not special. You're not the first one. Sorry to bust your bubble. I know we all like to think we're the best and the brightest and the most awesome. This woman has done that a bunch of times, and you are setting yourself up for trouble. So if you do need to vet a woman, sorry, allergies. If you do need to vet a woman, reach out to me. I've learned how, through some of my investigative techniques, but also to some of the databases I have access to as a licensed private investigator and private investigative agency owner, to reach back in time and see what women have been up to. One recent gentleman hired me. He had been dealing with a young lady, very attractive young lady, this guy of some means, and he wanted to know if she had any things any red flags in her past that he might find detrimental going forward. So I did a very, very deep and thorough background check, and despite her telling him that she did not have any sort of OnlyFans, because he did actually inquire about that. Ask women if they've had OnlyFans. If they've had OnlyFans, and I'm not saying that disqualifies them. It depends on what your tolerance level is, but at least you're dealing with you're able to make an informed decision, which is all any of us should ever ask for. And she did say she didn't have one, but I found evidence that she actually did have an OnlyFans. She did scrub it. She did delete her OnlyFans. She deleted the content, and she deleted the OnlyFans page, but I did still find evidence of it. And I presented that to him along with some other evidence as well too, and obviously that disqualified her from going forward and being his long-term mate. Bad for her, good for him, because he had the forethought and the wisdom to try to, seek further understanding. There are things that people can do on their own to look, and at some point I may start talking about those things. But there are tools that I have as a licensed, not just a licensed private investigator, but the fact that I own an investigative agency gives me access to not just access, but the ability to invade people's privacy to a certain extent without legal without legal repercussions. If you do these same things without a license, you're probably going to be sued. At the most, you could wind up in jail. So anyway, if you need an investigator, if you need to vet a woman, reach out to me on Gmail at privateinvestigatorruss@gmail.com. Alternatively, you can reach out to me on my company email, russ@privateeyeruss.com, or you can send me a direct message on X @privateeyeruss. I always check the messages there. I'm on X quite a bit, and so reach out and we'll see what we can do to help you so you can make that informed decision we talked about. Women understand that men are going to be a lot more discerning going forward into the future, so women are hiding and changing their social media in very, very drastic ways to try to hide some of their past activities. And so, you guys have to look out for yourselves. Protect your family name, protect your good name, your reputation. I know women think it shouldn't matter. Women, it does matter what you do. If a woman's on my arm, she is now my she is now my brand ambassador. And so as my brand ambassador, I have to make sure that you are up to the standard that I have already achieved. And so men don't become women's brand ambassadors. In very, very rare cases they do. But a man who takes on the woman, she is now his brand ambassador. He's got to be careful. If you want to be worthy of being a brand ambassador, allergies, of a man of some value, whether it's monetarily or morals, ethics, reputation, whatever it might be, fame, fortune, you need to make sure that you live your life in such a way that you are worthy of taking that spot by that man's side. Anyway, it's your boy Private Eye Russ. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.